Hello and welcome back to Football Manager. There's a slight mishap. We missed the Leeds Norwich games because when I tried to record them, for some reason the actual matches itself would just be a black screen on the recording. And on the 1st of January, the game auto-saved, and unfortunately I can't go back to those two games. So we had to lead them at a Leeds 2-2 draw and a Norwich 2-1 win after extra time. You can see Edin Dzeko is a player for us for the remainder of this season. He's retiring at the end of the year, but at the minute he's a 36-year-old with a fair number of caps for Bosnia on £8,000 a week, and he is currently our first choice striker as Folarin Balogun is out with an injury. He's not out for much longer, but he's not playing in either of the games for this video, being Nottingham Forest and Sunderland, because I'm not risking it. He's the most important striker we've had all season, and I don't want to have to worry about losing him permanently for the remainder of the year. This is the team we got for this for the remainder of well, not for the remainder of this episode, but for this episode. We've got Muric in goal, Romeo, Clark, Tuanzebe, Williams in the defence, Doyle and Thompson in midfield, Nem, Steepman and Viabar as our attacking midfielders, and obviously Edin Dzeko up front. Our substitute bench is Ben Knight, can't remember your first name, Christian Pedersen, Sebastian Casares, Ricardo Saponara, Carlos Fierro, Etienne Capoue and Emil Erdogan. We've got a couple of players who are going out on loan. For instance, we've got Bersen Selina going out on loan. Jed Steer has gone. I believe, Pedro Diaz out on loan. Well, not out on loan yet, but he's going out on loan. As Sabater's gone out on loan as well. So there's a few deals being done to help us. We've brought in, obviously, Pablo Turgman. He's annoyingly demanded to be part of the first team. He won't be playing much football this season because we've got Muric as our first choice goalkeeper, and I don't think Turgman's quite at the level yet where he can be a first choice player. Obviously Casares being on the bench today, not in the first team. We've got Tuanzebe and Clark for that, but Tuanzebe is still technically injured, so he will be coming off most likely around the 60th or 70th minute for Casares. But hopefully in this episode the screen won't be black during the match, and we'll have to be able to see what happens on the match screen, because otherwise I'm just going to quit because I can't be doing with the problems this series has already had after just a month of not playing the game for a while due to not being able to record videos, and then just having this happen where I can't even get the videos out that I do record. It's driving me nuts. Annoyingly, Nottingham Forest, the team who are currently, if I'm not mistaken, well, they were bottom of the table when I last looked at them, but they're now just outside the relegation zone. And Wellington Nem just putting us ahead very much could be putting them back in the relegation zone if the other teams below them do make use of this extra bit of help. All Wigan have to do is score a goal, and Wigan will go out of the relegation zone with Nottingham Forest going in. So hopefully that can be done. The only change I'm going to be making is Viabar coming off for I've lost him, Knight, and then we're going to swap these two round. So Nem will be a winger on the left, with Knight being a inverted winger on the right, just so he can actually get the best players to stay on the field. Obviously Nem being the goal scorer. Other than that, we might leave Tuanzebe on for now because he's not actually the worst condition. That's currently Williams. So we'll leave everything as it is for now. Ask for a bit more creativity from the boys for the second half to start with, and also scroll back up to the top of this as well. Brentford currently leading the way in the Championship because of our draw with Leeds. We gave them a bit of a push that would have meant they were guaranteed to hold on to that top spot if they managed to win their game, which they did. And as a result, we've been dropped down to second place with 2 points and 2 goals currently behind them. We're going to take Williams now off for Pedersen, and we're also going to take off Steeperman for Saponara, and then just say there's no pressure on these two. There we are. Also drop a bit of praise as well, because they've done very well to get us 1 goal up in the 75th minute. Not worrying too much about any sort of rebuttal from Nottingham Forest. They haven't actually had a highlight as far as I'm aware, so we should be fine. Got a throw in here from Pedersen. Yep, Pedersen to Thompson. Thompson loses out to Yates. And I may have just be about to eat my words. Nottingham Forest on the attack. And they managed to get the save from Muric, which is very good to see. It's nice to know that he can still save it if our defence messes up. Away by Clark with the header, which is very nice. Bissoli is chased by Saponara, but Saponara loses out. Herrero all the way back to the goalkeeper Samba, who puts the ball forward to Worrell, then gets the ball out to Bessa, and again Sinclair is through on goal, but this time he puts it out for a goal kick. It's very good news for us because it means they didn't score. A bit of concentration for the last few minutes of the game. And that's it. All over, 1-0, and we have finally ended Nottingham Forest's unbeaten streak that saw them get out of the relegation zone. Yep, they're back now down into the relegation zone with Wigan finally getting that equaliser against Portsmouth in the 81st minute. Inbox. Jones is a 2-0 win over Gillingham. Don't know where I saw Grimsby in that. Currently in 3rd place in the League 2 table. Only 5 points off top spot. And admittedly 7 goals off 2nd place, but nothing to be worried about there. Nottingham Forest fall back into the drop zone. Ted and Mengi doing well. Kugeltau's doing well as well. I forgot he was on loan there. And 6 unbeaten for us, which is nice. As well as that, a 3-0 win for Brian Marshall. Swansea want Richard Nate on loan. Yes, because I don't plan on actually using him for the remainder of this season. And arguably not until we actually get him up to a good enough standard that he's equal to Clark and to Nzebe. Because he's currently only a 3-star player. We want him to be a 3.5 to 4-star player. And by the looks of things, they kind of need a new defender. Jeez. 2-0 defeat, and they need a new defender, definitely. Nothing major to talk about. No major transfer news since the 1st of January. Other than obviously players joining. Turkman currently on national duty means he's not actually eligible to play for about a month. I think it's a month, because he's with the under-20s South American something. Didn't actually read what it was. I just saw 20 SAM, so I had a feeling it's under-20 South American something. A couple of our transfers that we did over the off period were... Oh, actually, there's one actually. Louis Barry just came up in the thing up there. He is a player that we've offered a contract to. He's a 19-year-old player for Barcelona, and according to this, he's got a 5-star potential, and he's already at 3.5 to 4-star as a striker. Now, believe me, this would be a very big coup if we could get him. No other big players. Obviously, Cosimo, Marco de Graca could be joining us. At the minute, we're not too sure. But yes, a couple of our transfers we've put through aren't actually joining us until 2024, which I didn't realise until after I had rechecked through all the transfers. For instance, Wayne Rock, he's not joining until the 1st of the 1st, 2024. Nuno Freitas is joining this year, but only on the 7th of February. Arnaud Suarez joining on the 1st of the 1st, 2024. So there's a fair few that are currently being given out. Nick Powell's currently being given a contract offer by Barnsley. Yeah, we're selling off Nick Powell because he just threw a hissy fit and I can't be dealing with him at the club anymore. I don't think there's much that's gone on prior to that. Simon Uwakwe brought in as a striker, but not yet. He's in the under-23s, I think. Lazar Karavic is a player, I think, in the under-23s as well. You won't see much of him yet. No major deals at the minute leaving, apart from obviously Jed Steer, who we brought in, obviously, to replace Wayne Hennessy. but we also brought in Aaron Muric, so we didn't need him anymore. Nick Powell is leaving now for £100,000 to Barnsley. And we'll just let him know that we didn't actually care about him anymore. Because at 28 he joined in September, and he just wasn't part of my plans. I'd hoped he'd be better than he actually was, but he really just wasn't. Montenegrin, a bit too expensive. We haven't got much in the way of transfer budget left. Benny Banning May, no idea who you are. Actually, I'll just get rid of all of these. I don't really care about the scout meetings. They're not really that important anymore. We've not got any transfers that can be made due to obviously being, lacking funds at this stage. Only £1 million in the transfer budget is not a lot for a championship side to sort of rebuild and pay for things. So, not really much we can do about that. Ooh, Chiesa could be going to Barcelona. Could be nice. And Ibu Toure could be leaving Boston for Halifax. Both League 2 sides, so obviously he's a League 2 defensive player. But I'm guessing that Halifax are looking at him in case they get relegated this season. Yep, £2,000 to sign Ibu Toure in the most likely turn that he's probably going to go back into the into a relegation battle, and likely back into the National League, where he was when he joined Boston. Man United 3, Sheffield United 0. Bit unfortunate. AC Milan beating Chievo 1-0 thanks to Abraham Lincoln. Probably not Abraham Lincoln, but you know what, it doesn't matter. Not exactly sure why these are my subjects I should follow. Oh, actually, yeah, one bit of news I should mention is there is an international job currently open, Uruguay, and I have applied for this job, but I'm not going to get it. I'm well aware of that. I've just applied for it to see what happens, mainly, because if I was to get an international job, I would probably rather it be sort of an African team, like for instance Egypt or South Africa, so I could, get an African Cup of Nations under my belt first, and then go through with a bigger team, like maybe go into South America, get say Colombia, something like that, or maybe America for instance, and get a Copa America under my belt, and then move on to a European team, like for instance France, Italy, England, and just try my hardest to get a World Cup and a European Cup under my belt as well. Because it wouldn't be too difficult for me to get Egypt or South Africa into the World Cup, but it'd be very difficult for me to actually get far in the World Cup, because the African qualifiers are fairly easy for the bigger teams. Like for instance Barcelona, Argentina, they're almost always guaranteed to get into a World Cup, as are teams like South Africa, Egypt, that sort of thing. Especially modern day with like players like Mo Salah playing for Egypt, it just becomes easier for them. But also I could be looking at a European job if I wanted to. A very small European country, like for instance Bosnia, take that job offer up. Even Wales, Northern Ireland, something like that, so close to home. Just so I can get some international experience under my belt, so I can then, when I move on with Millwall to the Premiership, or move on to a team in the Premiership, I'll have a bigger reputation and can go to a bigger international team. But obviously, you have to take the things one step at a time in football management, because otherwise you could put all your eggs in one basket, go to a club where you're not really going to be doing anything, and end up ruining your career. Like, for instance, David Moyes was doing brilliantly with Everton, but then decided to move on to Manchester United after he got a call from them, and he essentially ruined his career. I mean, I can't see him managing a team at the top of the Premier League ever again. So, yeah. An easy win predicted for us. I'm pretty sure we lost the last time we played Sunderland, so I'm not looking at it as a big prospect of victory, because yeah, we lost 2-1 last time, with Falar and Balogun getting our only goal, which was a 2-1 loss thanks to Sepi Mavididi and Paulo Fernandes. Although I think Mavididi, yeah, he's injured currently, Mavididi, and Paulo Fernandes is, let's just say he's not great. He's not playing very much this season. But with Turkey not in F2, you've got only one goalkeeper, because the other two, being the Lithuanian Admonis, is not really up to championship quality yet, and the other goalkeeper is can't remember his name now. I'll have to have a quick look. I can't remember his name. It's quite bad, isn't it, when you've got your team, can't even remember who one of your players are. Adam Davies, that's the one, the Welshman. He's played twice, but in those 2 games he really did not play well. And I do think it's probably worth him not staying at the end of the season and getting a move somewhere else. Albrighton is back from his injury, so he'll be in the team in place of Wellington Nem, because Nem is not playing well despite that goal in the last game. He just isn't having a good time in this division at the minute. So I think it's just best we leave him out of the team for a little while. And Neil Erdogan's wanted by players. SM Cole on loan. Actually, yeah, we'll get him out on loan because he's ready for loans, and he has a minimum fee release clause of £10 million, which annoyingly would be and it would be very harsh to take if he was actually offered that that £10 million, and he was forced out of the club, because he's a player that I want to keep around. So in other words, in a couple of years I'm going to try and renegotiate his contract so that he stays for as long as possible. An important player, I think the best one is Kayaspor in Turkey, I think. I mean, he is Turkish, so it would be the best option. And he's interested in joining all the Turkish teams. So yeah, Kayaspor, we'll get him going to there then. And the other clubs will be a no, because they're not offering him the amount of game time that I would want him to be playing, which is every single game. Nathan Burke moving on loan to Newport County, which is good because he didn't actually want to go there. And we've got Richard Nate joining Swansea, which is nice to see. Zelui, did I actually look at you? I can't remember if I did. Yeah, he's not actually that good though. 31, Cape Verde, not great. Could improve a bit before I even put an offer in, I think. It's best option. Right, 2nd place Millwall versus 7th place Sunderland. I'm expecting a draw, if I'm being honest. I'm expecting a draw mainly because Sunderland are very good at being defensive, especially in recent games. It's really quite impressive how they are doing in terms of keeping other teams out. Gareth Cochran, Louis Preen, David Secondo, don't know who any of those players are. Bersenstein, though, is moving out on loan to Derby County. Get him some, I think he was actually already there at one point, wasn't he? Oh no, it was Swansea he was with, yeah. But yeah, get him some game time in the Championship, because he won't get it with me. I've not got him registered in the team, and I think it's unfair, if you ask me, to have him around if he's not going to play. Alright, Erdogan can come out of the bench in place of Arroyo. I think probably the best option, because there are no other right backs on the bench, so Arroyo will go in. Apparently Carlos Fierro has done very well in his last few games, but I'm assuming that's probably for the under-23s, not for us. But we've got our, actually, no, we haven't. Tuan Zebe is coming out for Casares, and then he's coming out of the first team for Dinel Simia. As a no-nonsense centre-back cover. He's not quite as good as the other players, but he's the only one I'm actually willing to put in, because Simia is not anywhere near first team quality yet. So this is the team, obviously. We look at the tactics. I mean, I swear I could have just seen that Albrighton wasn't playing. Okay, no, he is. Never mind. Right, got to go against Sunderland. I'm expecting the 1 or maybe 2-2 draw. I'm expecting goals, just not enough for us to win, if I'm being honest. Burnley 1, Portsmouth 0. Okay. Throw in for Millwall. Clark throws the ball to Williams. Williams crosses the ball into the far post. Oh no, near post, sorry. Dzeko picks it up. Thompson back out to Williams again though, who has a shot that's saved somehow by their goalkeeper. Now Doyle chasing the cleared ball. Gets the ball back out onto the right wing, but the ball's headed away. That was a very poor highlight, I think, for the team. Clark throws the ball to Thompson. Thompson tries to get the ball forward, but Ibu gets the ball away. Vierbar heads the ball into the middle, but taken away by Oakley Booth. Out to the wing now for Zande Silva. Zande Silva gets a shot, but it's very far wide of the post. Currently 5 shots to 2 and 4 on target to none. That was atrocious from Doyle. Clark picks the ball up from the clearance. Gets the ball across the field looking for Williams, who has to run very far back to get to it. Williams picks the ball up again though from the clearance. Crosses it to the far wing, doesn't get to anyone. Albrighton though gets the ball forward to Dzeko, who does tap the ball in for his second goal for the club in what looked to be offside position, but I'll give the game the benefit of the doubt because it's a goal for us, obviously. Alright, Howe back to Bouzar, now to Wills. Wills out wide looking for Zande, who beats Romeo. And, saved by Muric. Thought I was going in for a minute. The 24th minute, the 24th second, a corner kick was given. Fernandez crossed the ball in, headed by Ibu, only is into the hands of Muric though. And that's the end of the highlight. Currently a 1-0 lead in the 30th minute. We are hoping for Millwall to control this game, but it looks likely that the midfield isn't doing as they could. Steepman and Thompson having poor games today. And we've actually just moved up to top spot, meaning that Brentford are now losing. Steepman's going to come out for Knight, and Capoue coming on for Thompson. So hopefully we can get a bit more effective going forward. Drop a bit of praise to start this half, to let them know they've done well. Albrighton's pass forward to Dzeko was probably the best part of the first half, I must admit. Muric now with the goal kick. Plays it short to Clark. Clark, long ball out to the right wing. Look for Romeo. Finds him. Romeo runs it straight past as no player goes anywhere near him. For reasons unbeknownst to me. Romeo crossed the ball in. Vierbar's header doesn't reach it. Embleton clears the ball away. Chased by Casares on his debut. Back to Muric. Muric holds the ball up and kicks it short for Capoue. Capoue into the middle for Doyle. Now to Knight. Back to Capoue again. Out to the left wing for Vierbar, whose header is wayward and rather poor. Casares puts the ball forward back to Williams though. Williams back to Capoue. Capoue out into the left wing for Vierbar. Vierbar holds the ball up, has a shot, and Dzeko puts in the rebound for his second of the game and third of the season. Edin Dzeko is definitely proving to be a steal of a free transfer for the retiring Bosnian. Oof. Will's header just going over the bar, which is very nice to see, because it means they're not getting as much luck in terms of their shots as we are. Oh, they've got Harry Toffolo on their bench, the old Lincoln player. And they've got James Bree as well, actually. That's a nice group of players. Admittedly, James Bree was relegated with the last championship team I know he played for. Ipswich, bottom of the table. Romeo throws the ball to Knight. Knight gets past the defender. Has a shot, and it was a thunderous shot. And I have clearly been made to eat my words from what I said at the start of this match, because this is not going to be a tight match. 3-0 in the 86th minute. And clearly Millwall are deserving of that new top spot. Clark picks the ball up for a free kick. Viabar chases it, holds the ball up, gets the ball into the middle for Dzeko, who doesn't quite get his hat trick. I did think that did bounce off and go in, but it clearly didn't, and Dzeko wasn't quite capable of making it a third for himself. But with a fairly convincing win against a promotion candidate in Sunderland, just proves that Millwall are very much capable of holding their own in this division, and very much could be holding their own in the next division. Caceres makes his debut, joined from Liverpool de Montevideo from Uruguay. Viabar, 4-star potential, he wouldn't be staying with us next season regardless. And Richard Nate, on his debut for Swansea, gets a 1-0 win over Ipswich Town. Yeboah Amankwah gets a 4-0 win for York over Barnet, which is not bad. Shane Hawksworth, 1-0 draw with Hartlepool. Mengi unfortunately did lose to Bristol Rovers, but Jones didn't play in that game, apparently. Jack Coulters did, but he didn't obviously do well enough to win. Hampton and Richmond lose 2-0 to Ebbsfleet, who have Tyler Burry. And George Alexander gets a 1-0 win over Gillingham, with Nathan Burking a 1-1 draw with Sutton. Edin Dzeko obviously catching the eye of the fan base as he gets a fairly good performance. And St Selina has now joined Derby County for his loan deal. But we'll be coming back most likely when the game loads to the home screen. We'll be coming back probably around the start of February. If we get past Bournemouth, we'll play in the FA Cup. Other than that, we'll probably come back for, I'd say, the Bristol and Luton games. Or if not that, the Leeds-Brighton game. But until then, as I say every episode, I bid thee adieu. Goodbye.